features full military honors. Well, the photo speak is on a burial of late former president. Well, these are the stories we're tracking from the Nigerian Tribune.
Alright, let's move on now to
Stay in business, they have to make money for themselves.
this is not the
So
only
sad.
the only big move that Dangote is making. There's a report that he's planning to build the biggest seaport in the country.
Yes.
So marketers will cry. They have a lot to cry about.
So strange.
Okay, moving on. Awujale's birth frees Yoruba kids from ritual slavery. Says over 420 federal roads completed or in progress. Says federal government.
Okay, let's move on to This Day newspaper. This Day had the screaming headline: Buhari buried in blaze of glory with military honors. Yes, that's the major story in all of today's dailies. The writer says Tinubu rose above and beyond to honor his predecessor, creating new presidential presidents. Okay, from the top screen, Sadiq Khan seeks to boost collaboration in business tech with Nigeria. Okay, let's see. I think these are all just two stories. Okay, we have National Assembly writes Akoti Buwana rejects reinstatement request. That story is on page 12. These are the stories we're tracking on This Day newspaper.
Alright, let's move on now. Moving on to the Daily Independent, which is our last update this morning. Daily Independent has the word line: Cashew expansion drive. Investors eye 7.2 trillion naira inflow into the economy. Riders set to reposition Nigeria as world largest producer. Target production capacity of 2 million MT by 2030. That's a million by touchscreen Buhari, end of an era of mind from perspective. Why US, UK, Islam, restrictions on Nigeria and federal government. Other screen. 17 years after spending 60 billion naira, digital switch over project still in limbo. That's on page 7. That's a very important one. Still in limbo, spending billions of naira. Firebomb seals $3.5 billion gas deal with NNPC, GACN. That's on page 6. Dangote urges wealthy Nigerians to invest in the country. Right, that says he defied odds to build $20 billion with fiber. That's on page 7. Say that again. Dangote urges wealthy Nigerians to invest in the country. It says he defied odds to build $20 Tinubu bows before Buhari's remains as he is laid to rest. That's a Modo government prepared to sign MOU for establishment of foreign refinery. That's on page 7 of the Daily Independent newspaper. Those are the headlines.
Yes, so from our national dailies, welcome back to our studio as we just take a look at some of these trending headlines. Blessing, all of the dailies have headlines, screaming headlines on the passing and burial of former President Muhammadu Buhari. But we'll leave that discussion for our guest, because that is the issue we're going to be dwelling on this morning in our guest interview segment. But let's look at other headlines. Blessing, the Vanguard newspaper, I saw one headline: we are yet to receive formal communication from UAE on revised visa policy. That statement is credited to the federal government. It's on page 9. Then in another daily, let's see if I can get it. It says the federal government is saying abide by all. Let me see if I can get it. It should be this day newspaper. Let's see. But that headline actually says Nigerians should abide by the instructions. Yes, okay. Visa overstays. Yes. Respect immigration regulation of host countries. Federal government tells Nigerians. That's on page 10. The truth is, this is what it is. And Nigerians must stick to what it is. That you can't run away from this. The countries have said this is what we want. Nigerians, you can't force yourself on those countries or their presidents to change their policy.
Yeah.
It's a policy that has come to stay. It's okay that the federal government is advising citizens that it has to be so.
Yeah. Even without this visa restrictions, when you go to a country, you ought to respect their immigration regulations. If you are going there to want to stay for a long time, don't lie to them. Because I think that it is one of the reasons why we get these visa restrictions all the time. Because some Nigerians lie to them. Some Nigerians
have other reasons.
They don't respect the immigration regulations. That's the problem. But still, I think the federal government has to intervene. Because we have students who want to leave the country to go to other countries to study. There are students who are already there that will be affected by these new policies. So the federal government has to intervene. And they have to be serious about it. It's not just to say we will. We want to see them interact with these countries and look for a soft landing for some of Nigerians that are already there and may be affected by these policies because it's
it is really not easy. But when you look at it, for those who are actually studying or those who have legitimate businesses they are doing, legitimate jobs they are doing, they barely fall prey to such policies.
Yes,
but the thing is, going forward, they have said, this is our policy on visas. So take it as it is. Like I said earlier, it is what it is. The federal government is not going to fight for the president of the United States
or
UAE to change their policy.
There is something that can be done. If he looks at the federal government should look at this policy, does it really favor Nigerians? Is it
about does it favor Nigerians? It's about what they want.
It's about what we've seen cases where the US, the UAE gives restrictions to some countries and they reverse them with time. No, not even reverse. The receiving country, the country that receives that gets these policies, returns the favor because to me, I do not see. I'm one of the few Nigerians who don't really look at all these countries and look at them as
big gets for all
big exactly. Which shouldn't be so because Nigeria, if things were in place,
working the way
the economy was, if things were moving the way it should move in this country, Nigeria is the giant of Africa. So we shouldn't be treated the way we are treated in some of these countries. Yes, and we have some countries that are responsible for this
change.
But the federal government should look at these visa policies as well. It's good.
So they will do. No, what do you think the federal government can do in this direction? What is that?
Dialogue. Yes, they should.
Okay, so let's wait for that. If that is what you believe in.
An appeal for some of these Nigerians.
Really, for President Tinubu to ask for soft landing with President Donald Trump and other leaders.
You know there's speculation
I
that the relationship between the US and Nigeria, there's tension already.
There is tension. So why are you not wanting to push the president of Nigeria to go dialogue for something that may not be exactly for something that we already know may not be possible? All right, let's move on. There is this other headline. Okay, there are about two more headlines I want us to look at from the Vanguard newspaper. The first, ex-APC national chair Oyebo registered with ADC in Edo. Okay, then this one, let's see it. Gunmen allegedly killed 20 in Plateau village. This story is in almost all of the dailies this morning. Alright, so Blessing, the ADC coalition seems to be gaining momentum for the ex-ADC national chair and former governor of Edo State, Oyebo, to register with the party ADC in Edo State. Tell us more about what is happening in that coalition. Even though the politicians are not seeing it the way some other people are seeing it, the ordinary Nigerians, the journalists are seeing something different. I just read